Well, hello, my friend. I'm your host, Conny Graf. Thank you for joining me today and allowing me back into your ears. As a fractional CFO and coach, I'm blending Swiss precision with strategy, soulful guidance, and astrology to help you align your finances, system, and self. And 2 weeks ago, in episode 289, I talked about how we tell ourselves we should be able to do this alone, and other lies we tell ourselves. And that episode had more downloads than usual. I really think I hit a nerve with it. And it seems I'm not the only one that believes BS like this, right? So today I want to talk about change and how we often resist it. Last week's episode with the 5 why shovel didn't have as many downloads, and I'm thinking it's because digging deep can be hard and we might not want to do it, or you might not want to do it, and that's why you're resisting it, and that's why you didn't have as many downloads. Probably you can also sense already, oh shoot, even if I overcome this first resistance and do the digging, once I find the root cause of my issues, then I'm required to change something, which inevitably triggers more resistance, right? Or am I the only one? So changing things or changing ourselves can be very hard when we know we have to do it, but it can also be very easy when we want to do it. The issue most of us have is that we often don't want to do it. So we resist and we dig our heels in and we fight it with everything we've got. Ask me how I know. This reminds me, and if you're listening to the podcast for a while, you know I'm an avid reader, and so this reminds me of the book The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, where he says, resistance has no strength on its own. Every ounce of juice it possesses comes from us. We feed it with power by our fear of it. Master that fear, and we conquer resistance. End of quote. So if resistance is fed by fear, then I would think awareness is how we starve that fear and how we starve the resistance. Making changes and changing ourselves requires that we learn to overcome, or how Stephen says, conquer this resistance. And getting to the root cause, digging deep with the 5 why shovel, as I elaborated last week, often is called shadow work because we have to dig deep, and this kind of work takes us into the shadows and into the dark. And often this is really scary, but we can only conquer this resistance when we walk willingly towards the triggers, towards this fear, and towards anxiety, not away from it. Again, this requires us wanting to do it, but most of us wait until we are at rock bottom, until we have no other choice than facing it or doing the thing that we're so resisting to do. And I'm the first one who says I'm a rebel. And if someone tells me I have to do something, my first impulse, sure, is to resist. Depending on what our dominant element is, it can play out differently. So for example, if you're a fire type, change excites you usually, at least at first. You love new beginnings and bold moves, but if change feels forced or slow, you burn out fast, you lose interest, or you start to resist. Your challenge is staying the course once the initial spark fades, and staying aware when resistance shows up and you're trying to jump ship, right? If you're an earth type, change can feel deeply uncomfortable because it shakes the foundation you've built. You like to plan, prepare, and to be sure, and to be comfortable. You often resist until you know it's safe and proven. But when you do commit, you follow through beautifully, right? As an air type, or if you're an air type, you think about change endlessly. You research, you analyze, you talk about it. You may even journal about it. But taking that first step is hard. You want to figure it out before you feel it, which keeps you spinning in your mind instead of moving forward. That's how you resist, with endless thinking. If you're a water type, change feels very emotional. It's not just a decision, it's a release for you. So you resist if something still feels unfinished or emotionally charged, even if your head knows it's time. It's time to change. Only once your heart is on board, you flow with incredible depth and grace, and the resistance is dissolved, right? So do you recognize yourself in one of the 4 types? We are usually a mix of all 4 elements, but one is dominant. Which one is it for you? Once you've recognized which elemental pattern you're resisting, take a deep breath and ask, what one small shift could help me move through this resistance today? We often have this all or nothing thinking, or we think it has to be this big, huge change, this big, huge effort. But what if we could just inch our way forward? For fire, it might be finishing one little thing before starting another. For earth, it might be allowing yourself to take one imperfect action. For air, it might be making a decision instead of researching even more and more and more. And for water, it might be allowing yourself to feel the sadness of a necessary ending so you can actually move forward. No matter what your dominant element is, what type of person you are, what matters most is that you move. Not perfectly, but intentionally. Every small conscious shift, every small conscious step softens us, weakens our resistance, and it builds momentum towards where we want to go. So in short, there are so many how-tos out there, and we can spend all of our time trying to figure out the perfect way or the perfect app, the perfect program, the perfect system. But often those are distractions to procrastinate on getting to the root cause. It's resisting by trying to find perfect. So to make a change, it's usually not the how-to that's missing. It's the want to. Really wanting to make change and deciding that the results of those changes are worth overcoming our resistance to it, overcoming the guilt and overcoming the shame that might be involved in it. Guilt, by the way, is feeling badly about something we have done or haven't done, while shame is feeling badly about who we are. Both fuels resistance. And I know the struggle to feel hopeless and numb and to have to try yet again to find the way. And so sometimes we just need someone to hold the light while we're digging, someone that faces the darkness with us. We don't need another how-to. We need to reconnect with our soul and our want to. And this brings me to this. If your business finances are a trigger for you, maybe you did the 5 why shovel and you got to the root of the things, but you are resisting to change now. Or maybe you resisted even to doing the 5 why shovel on your finances, exactly because you're scared to dive into the dark and to the root cause. Please know you don't have to go there alone. That's exactly what I help my clients do. I help with the practical side of keeping organized finances, and I help them understand what their numbers are telling them about their business. That's the Swiss precision and the strategy part. But I'm also here walking with you when it gets uncomfortable. I'm the one holding the light for you so you can take one clear, supported, and peaceful step at a time to get out of the chaos. And that's the soulful guidance and the help to align your finances, systems, and yourself. So I'd love to walk alongside you. If you're ready, schedule a free chaos audit to see if working together would be a fit. You find the link in the show notes. Of course, as always, I never tell you what to do or what not to do. What I want to do is help you see the effects this kind of chaos, mental chaos, often in this case, and emotional chaos, has on you, your business, and your life, and how to move from chaos to peace with more ease. Okay, my friend, that's it for this week. Thank you for listening all the way to the end and being a supporter of the podcast. Have a beautiful and amazing week. Talk to you next time. Take good care and be safe. Bye for now.